I'm scared.
Oh, well, so what do you think? Did you see that?
Yeah, that was be my press agent. Holy smokes.
Hey, well, you know what? I couldn't help but do something cool because of all the books and and the guitar solo thing and I mean, geez, come on, Tom, you're Tom Kolb. All right, so
Where's that? Here's the $5 on you.
yeah,
There you
well, no, I got a discount rate these days. It's only four.
go.
Hey, so I just want to start by saying that when I first met you, we I was when was that? Was that like 2002 or 3 or somewhere? I
Early
wait,
early 2000s, yeah, very early 2000s.
and I was calling around and everybody kept saying, "Oh, dude, the right guy for this gig is Tom Kolb. You got to call Tom Kolb." Everybody said I got to call Tom Kolb. And as a matter of fact, you may not even know this, but you enjoy a reputation or others see you as the guy that everybody should call, and he's such a great guy and he plays great. Always have Tom Kolb on the gig.
Whoa. Is this
Yeah. No, I'm serious. That's what everybody says. And
holy smokes, that's amazing.
well,
Good to hear.
and that gig, as it turns out, that gig was really really fun. Bill Armstrong was on it, Jonathan Pintoff, you and me, and all we did is rock music.
Uh-huh. And we were dressed to the nines, as I recall. Weren't you wearing leather pants?
With holes in the butt cheeks.
That, that's a vision. Yeah, it was fun. It was a large crowd. It was like couple thousand people, and on top of the Kodak Center.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool. It was really fun. But and then the other thing that I wanted to do today, I looked and I looked and I looked for the interview you did with Joe Walsh on
Uh-huh.
you. I could not find it because
It's
I
there.
where do you find it?
You have to put in what? Let's see.
Because I looked on YouTube all over because
There's
that
no,
was
they don't pop up when you put his name in.
really
Somebody put segments, tons of segments on there years ago with hashtag Joe Walsh is a terrible guitar teacher. So, so if you type that in, and they pop up. But
so
now there's one with the entire video on there. I was just watching it the other day with my students. It's so funny.
really.
It's a crack up.
Oh man. Let me ask you, when were you working at MI when you did those things?
Yes, that was
And
90s.
and how long ago was that when in the 90s? When did you start teaching at MI?
Am I? Oh, well, I started teaching right after I graduated in 1989, before Nirvana.
Wow.
Hmm. And then the videos, the Starlix videos came across just accidentally. That was the early 90s, and they just threw me in there.
You interviewed all kinds of people. So the ones that I've seen on Facebook show up the most have been the Joe Walsh interview because it was really fun,
Yes.
and then the Larry Graham interview.
Uh-huh.
What were some of the other ones that you done? You know what? You should be doing the interview. You should be a co-host interview for me because you're the guy that man. You already have all the experience.
No, this is a great pleasure, and you're a better interviewer than I ever was.
Nah, but yeah, but you can play guitar. Guitar players are always cool.
Well, that's essentially how I got that gig. I was just a lowly transcriber for the company, just transcribing the booklets, the licks and stuff that the stars were talking about, and they started to have players on there that didn't have experience talking right to a camera. So they said, "Go in there and interview them." Anyway, I coached, coaxed a lot of licks. My boss, the owner of the company, always wanted licks, licks, licks. Don't talk so much. Just get them to play. But you know, the mention that the Larry Graham, that is, I always have students showing me that video. That pops up again and again because it's so timeless. There's Larry Graham doing his one-man show when I'm supposed to be interviewing him. So I just stepped off camera and let him do his thing for 20 minutes.
Just let him play.
And then occasionally he'd ask me a question like, all right, kid, you got any questions? But actually, that was a very interesting video because there were 10 bass players on that instructional video. And I'm telling you, it was scary. It was Chuck Rainey, Lewis Johnson, Nathan East.
Oh my God.
Freddie Washington, Byron Miller, forgetting some of the others. And it was supposed to be Paul McCartney, but he was supposed to lead the batch, but he, scheduling problems. But
and you were interviewing all of the bass players.
Yeah, and I'm not a bass player. I play bass for my own demos and recording.
God, I mean, oh my God, I wouldn't know what to say in that mix. I would go like,
Well, that was me. But it's fun talking to him and got him to play the runs. And it's Chuck Rainey for one thing is amazing. What's we doing on Peg? What were you doing on that Steve album?
Yeah, there was a story about him on that they didn't want him to do the slap bass on that song Peg, and yet he did it. He like lowered down so they couldn't see what he was doing.
That's like the old Tommy Tedesco trick.
Yeah,
he would use a pick on nylon string guitar, which you're not supposed to do, and he says, "Are you playing me the fingers?" Yeah, sure. See, play beautifully.
Oh, so who else? What other kind of interviews did you do? You did Joe Walsh. What guitar players?
Oh man, some of my heroes. Both of my favorite. Well, both the guitarists from Steve Howe and Trevor Rabin. Trevor Rabin was actually on camera video. Owner of a Lonely Heart era. Let's see, Larry Carlton a few times. And Dave Navarro from the Chili Peppers when he was with the Chili Peppers. Dave Navarro, Jane's Addiction. That was a very interesting video.
Mm.
And lots of bands. Remember the band Slaughter?
Yeah, but I don't remember any of their songs.
Fly Back to the Angels. Let's see who else. Various stars from the 90s. But the ones I mentioned, those are the highlights.
So when I didn't know how many books you have out in terms of how to learn how to play guitar.
Well, I just so happen to have one right here. No, just
but I did buy one.
Really?
The one on Introduction to Playing Guitar.
Oh, the All About Guitar. That was an assignment I had to write a book along the lines of play guitar, guitar for dummies. They wanted it just bare bones minimum all the way up to playing songs.
But I'll tell you, when I pulled that book out, if I want to learn how to play guitar, dude, that's a great book. It tells me everything I ever need to know.
Thank you. It's supposed to be a teacherless book, which is most music method books are really best used with a teacher helping you through it. But that was, like I said, like Guitar for Dummies. Starts with just holding a guitar.
Well, here's something else. You've been teaching there so long, and I've needed guitar players, and you aren't available, and or I need like a girl or something, and I remember almost everybody I call. Tom Kolb. Oh yeah, I took lessons from Tom Kolb. He taught me how to play. You remember Ariel? Ariel Belvillar?
Oh, I know her now. Yeah. Ariel?
Didn't you taught her, right?
Are we talking about Ariel?
Yeah, that she does all the gymnastic stuff.
Oh yes, she's in my. I have a class with her now currently.
Really?
Uh-huh. She part time. She's really taken off her career.
Yeah.
Well, she
Yeah.
didn't make it to class because she had her second video single.
Really?
How do you know Ariel?
Well, I hired her for a job one time because I needed a guitar player that could do somersaults.
Do the splits? Oh man, I didn't know she did somersaults.
And the splits, and she can do a hoop. She can get in a hoop and spin and do play guitar solos.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
yeah, she's
So
fantastic.
so that's what we needed you to do when we did that rock gig. We needed you to do some splits, man. Do
Wow,
some.
you had me singing, trying to sing Freddie Mercury. That was scary.
Yeah,
We were the champions, right?
yeah, we are the champions. That we were supposed to play We Are the Champions, and I said, "Who can sing it?" Tom, you sing it.
Yeah, this is okay because nobody else would.
Well, you did a great job. You nailed it
Um,
in the original
you
key.
guys, you guys did a great job. That was, yeah. Kind of think. I wish we had a video of that gig. We were doing just about every style of music.
Yeah, I
Lots
don't.
of rock.
I think that was one of the best gigs I ever played. I
It
mean,
was
it
a
was just really
highlight,
fun. Yeah.
and they were a great audience. And who was that again?
Oh boy, I
Big
don't.
company. Big company.
It was a big company. It was it like Shackley or something like that? One of those kinds of you know sales things. I think it was one of those.
Could have been.
Shackley something.
Anyway, lively crew.
Yeah. So, well, tell me, how is teaching going at MI with all of the Are you doing a lot of like right now? You're standing in your studio and got your guitar on?
This is my life. It's just automatic to put this on because now we're teaching via Zoom
Yeah.
for the last. Well, we just finished. This is our fourth quarter of doing this, which has been a challenge. Well, it's a challenge for any teacher, but our school, Musicians Institute, is so performance heavy. It's a performance school, jamming. Most of my teaching is actually jamming with students and getting them, coaching them right there. You can't jam on the internet yet unless you
Mm.
have super, super expensive technology. Doesn't have latency or something. We haven't figured it out yet, but somehow we're getting by. I teach some classes, some one-on-one, and we're still rolling along, waiting to get back in those hallowed halls.
You know, I I feel bad for students and teachers because when I want to know how to play drums, I really want to be able to sit next to the guy and sort of soak up what they're
Oh,
playing and how it feels and
tell
how
me.
it sounds.
Yes, that's the learning process. It's like learning to talk.
Yeah. So, do you have a camera on your finger? So, when you want them to see what you're playing, do you have a separate camera that can
I
zoom
need
in?
a chiropractor because I'm old school. Now I'm just doing this and can't you see my finger? Look at this. I've been meaning, please, I've been meaning to get cameras. I know some of my fellow teachers, yeah, they have a separate camera. Our
Oh,
teacher has one here and one here. Somehow it's set up, which is what I'm used to doing in the videos I've done with a full crew. But I'm not that. I'm savvy with my recording gear, but not videos. So it's been challenging, to say the least.
well, and here's the thing that's happened in the last year. When this all first came down, all of us were scrambling to get the equipment and get the gear and be able to do live streaming.
Yep.
And now, just in the last year, things have changed so much. My computer doesn't even work anymore because it's too old.
Oh,
It's like 4 years old, but it's not fast enough now to operate the new software. So even the platform that I have has now become glitchy because it says you've got to have a
yeah,
faster computer to make it work.
you bet. So what are you going to do?
I don't know. I because I'm not working.
Yeah, it's that's what happens.
Yeah, and how about gigs? Are there any gigs, any kinds of recording things? Now, let me just say, if for anybody watching,
Mhm.
that if there's anything that I've needed recorded for any corporate thing in like the last 11 years, you and Nelson Braxton and Gabe Rowland have been my rhythm section for everything that I've done. If I've got a corporate video, I call you guys, and you've played on all of them. And this is what I got to say about how you play. Do I need Eagles? Call Tom. Do I need a mandolin? Call Tom. Do I need a banjo? Call Tom. Do I need Jersey Boys? Call Tom. Do I need something funk? Everything that you do stylistically, when it comes back and I listen back to it, it's perfect. It's exactly what's needed.
Well,
How do you do that?
here's
How do
another
you
$5 for you.
how 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 did you learn to play all of those styles?
Oh boy, it's simple as I mean, a simple explanation is I've had my ears open since I was a kid, listening to music of all styles. Number one, I've been playing. I've been playing so long I don't remember not playing.
Mm.
I played like 7,000 gigs in my life. I think I tallied it up at one point of all styles. But whenever I can't not hear music, even when there's no music going on, it's in my head and I'm trying to figure things out. Waking up in the middle of the night, trying to figure things out. When I'm watching TV, I get distracted from the story because I'm listening to the soundtrack. I'm always usually analyzing and doing ear training exercises while I'm listening to the music. But not just from having to play all styles, like you were just talking about that gig we did,
Mm-hmm.
but also from teaching. I've noticed a big bump in my ability since, teaching at Musicians Institute. Uh-oh, you froze.
Am I? No,
Okay. Unless you
I'm
fell asleep.
no, I'm good over here. I just wasn't. Was I just not moving? I was just listening.
You were not just.
Oh, I'll try not to pick my nose while you're talking. Or this is what I'll do. If I have to pick my nose, watch.
Boy, you're taking a long time doing this. And he's gone.
Now I'm back.
Wow, that's a long. He must have been a busy boy. What was I going to say while you were doing that?
I don't know. Did I could? Well,
I just gravitated towards, I don't know, I guess versatility. Just listen to all kinds of music, not just guitar music.
yeah.
All the instruments. I think about saxophone solos, drum solos, trumpet solos when I solo as a guitarist. So
What did you want to play guitar? Is that the first instrument and only instrument you wanted to play?
yeah, I can remember my dad liked Hank Williams and Roger Miller and Fats Domino. So I was hearing that kind of music, and then my older sisters, would listen. They were listening to Elvis Presley, so I heard Scotty Moore, that guitarist. And something about the country spoke to me, and a lot of those country songs are 3 chords, and I could actually hear them in my head. So that's what inspired me to start to want to play. And then, of course, the Beatles came on, and it was all over. Formed a band,
And you play in a Beatles cover band too.
oh yeah, right.
And those songs are pretty timeless.
Yeah, and also it makes for every gig is a winner because the material you can't lose with it. So the audience is always enthralled. Band's name is Sergeant Pepper. We've been going at it about 13, 14 years now.
Wow.
And it's fun because I'm a huge Beatle fan. And that's how I learned how to play guitars, listening to George Harrison. And actually Paul McCartney and John did a lot of the solos too, and Phil's. And they played every kind of music there is, I think.
and you sing, and you can, which part do you sing in the in the Beatles band?
We're not Cher specific. I don't always do George. I usually sing John,
Hmm.
and not quite high enough to comfortably do Paul. So the drummer does a lot of the Paul McCartney higher songs, and but kind of just who sounds best on which one. But it's tough gig singing because you're always singing. You're always singing harmonies at the top of your range. It's incredible amount of vocalizing in the Beatle band.
Yeah.
It's tough
And
gig annoying.
so you started out, you were attracted to music and Hank Williams, and you sing "Hey, good looking"?
Hey, good looking. What you got cooking? Yeah, my dad loved that stuff. So I was here in El
Oh,
Paso.
it's
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso. That's still one of my favorite songs.
You know what? We could almost do we could do like a sing along song here and make it like a piano bar, but it would be you playing guitar songs.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Put me on an acoustic around a campfire and we'll just
Yeah.
have fun.
You know, I got a bass drum in here. I could.
But we'll be out of time.
Oh yeah, we would be out of time.
We will. Oh, I'm
So
looking at these. I'm looking at the. Are you looking at those chat things?
yeah, I'm looking at it's George Harrison's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. My dad's birthday too.
Really?
Uh huh.
He was born on George Harrison's birthday.
Yeah, 25th.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
forgot that was George's birthday, but yeah, George Harrison, one of my all-time favorites because he played for the song.
Yeah. Yeah. So um, back, I want to ask you again, how many books you've written and how
Okay.
many CDs and all of those things. You've got guitar lick books, you've got the modes on how to play all the modes. How many different books you have out?
Well, I think about a dozen, but see, I started writing about 20 years ago, and that also fell from Starlicks. Started out transcribing, then I was asked to write for a magazine called Guitar One, and I was an editor for that magazine. Then I started doing books. So there's about 10 that are still they're on Amazon, and the biggest seller is Theory for Guitar Players.
So what's the difference between theory for guitar players and just regular theory?
It's an angle, right? All the music
Oh,
theory, almost all the music theory books are, they're traditional theory, and it's, you get the most out of it on piano, and that's how it's usually taught. So I just,
hmm
made sure everything was guitar specific, and lots of quizzes in ear training, and how music theory applies to the guitar, not just, you
So
know,
how important do you think ear training is in being a musician, even for drummers?
you could say it's the most important thing. Um, so important. Number one, you have to listen to play with anybody. You have to listen. The orchestra has to blend. A band has to listen to play tight. And that's, like I said earlier, that's where I get my inspiration from, is imagining, listening to what's going on. My memory of, or an organ solo, or a piano solo, or a trumpet solo, drum solo for rhythms. And ear training, yeah, I feel the musicians who are able to match pitch, the better you can match pitch, not tone deaf, at least you can
hmm
match pitch. Try and sing what you play. That's key. If you sing what you play, it connects you with your instrument. And it's just, I can go on and on about ear training. Like I said, I'm just always ear training myself. When I hear any kind of music, I try, what key is this? What's the major? What's that next chord? What's that melody? What's that
Over
scale be from?
Over time, has it become easier for you to hear chords instantly, flat fives, sharp nines, all that kind of stuff?
Mhm.
Has it become easier for you just
Yeah.
because you're constantly listening and trying to pick it out?
Yes, but it's mainly easier because I I play them myself. Like
Mm.
that's it, dominant seven sharp flat nine, but I only know that sound, from playing a lot of those whenever I play jazz or Beatles. Yeah, it's hard to hear things that I haven't played, so I kind of get lost if I'm listening to Ravel or something. Wow, all these shifting key changes, but
Mm.
with combo music, band music,
Hmm.
and vocals.
Is there something that's your favorite to play and sing on guitar?
You mean song?
Yeah, I mean, just a style is like if you could find your comfort zone. I mean, for me, when they would ask me, "What's your favorite music to play?" I'm like, "Well, I like really playing everything. I just like playing." But is there something that when you want to just sit and play and sing that you would prefer to do?
Wow. Oh well, it depends. Am I by myself in this?
Oh, it's like yeah, it's like the high fidelity movie. Is it when I'm by myself or am I sitting on the sofa with my wife?
No, no, no. Am I alone? There's no drummer. There's no keyboard player. There's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to just grab an acoustic and play songs like a Neil Young strummer or something like that.
Yeah.
Come a little bit closer. You what I have to say. Romantic. I think that's a great question, Jeff. But really, what it comes down to is like sappy love songs, and that's
Mm.
not a sappy love song. That's one of the most romantic ballads that I think ever written. Harvest Moon. But yeah, like and I would say major key stuff. I'm kind of like the unordinary guitarist. I kind of gravitate towards major key songs because so much of rock music is minor. It's a little bit tedious for me sometimes.
Do you, if you're playing with a band, then what do you prefer? I know
Ah,
when we used to do the thing out at the pizza joint
yeah.
with Mike Manel and
Oh yeah.
Bob.
Like Manel and Bob Emmett. You
You
bet.
know, you guys like playing Led Zeppelin and
Oh
stuff.
man, I'll tell you. Yeah, my dead on, absolutely, uh, power trio bass stuff. With the keyboard, but funky rock like Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith, all that funky stuff.
Mm.
Uh, what were some of the Zeppelin tunes we did? Like,
You, I got to tell you, I
yeah, funky rock is just a blast to play. 16th note oriented.
here's the thing that was frustrating. This is what was frustrating for me is you guys were fans of Led Zeppelin and knew the songs. I am a fan but don't know the songs.
Oh, you knew the hit. You heard the hits. Yeah, you didn't know the deep cuts probably.
No, exactly. And you would start playing songs and I go and they say and you guys you know it and I'm thinking
Well, those two guys, yeah, Mike Pennell and Bob Emmett, their vocabulary is bigger than mine, and I'm known for my vocabulary of songs. Yeah, it's frightening the retention they have. Some of the players in this town. I know how it is because sometimes I'll get in a situation where they start. All the musicians want to do a certain kind of music that I'm not I'm interested in it, but I'm not as steeped in the history of it, and it's a challenge, but it's a great challenge. Sure, you got a blast and just doing your part while the people were playing the song.
well, here's something else that I want to ask you while you're talking, and it just flashed in my head. So, you had told me that you did a stint with Edgar Winter. You did
Ah,
some gigs. So what was that like, and what are some of the other groups or guys like that you've been able to work with over the years?
um, well, the first major star I played with at an early age in Los Angeles was Mark Lindsay, one of my heroes, the lead vocalist for Paul Revere and the Raiders, and a celebrated singer writer. We toured all over the states and Hawaii and stuff in the '90s, and then I got to meet all my '60s heroes because there's in the Midwest in particular, you'll have the Monkees and Tommy James and the Turtles and Grassroots and the Buckinghams and all these bands I grew up with, Association, and Mark Lindsay. We'd be on those shows, and we actually did some albums. So bless his soul. We just he was featured heavily in the Tarantino movie last year or 2 years ago. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and then the Edgar Winter gig was probably the hardest gig I ever had because he's truly a genius musician and hears everything and would remember one little mistake I would make or something in one of the songs, and I'd get a memo. No, I'm just kidding. We talk about that.
Really? So did you have to play the songs perfectly every time?
The licks and but the hard one was Frankenstein because there's so many riffs and licks and harmonies in that song, but his live version is like 10 times longer and solos. Had to solo for 5 minutes, and he'd bring me up to the front of the stage and he'd sing a and then I had to play that back as best I could with all the proper vibrato and the gliss. And
Wow.
in front of a festival audience right before the puppet show.
Whoa. So,
Spinal
and was the band just one guitar, him, drums, and bass?
It was Edgar on keys and saxophone, plays the crap out of alto. Drums, bass, and me. And
Who was the drummer and bass player?
well, Mark Meadows was bass player when I was doing this. This is the 2000s. I was actually filling in for Doug Rappaport, his usual, his main guitar player. He's incredible musician.
Mm-hmm.
The bass player was Mark Meadows, and Chris Frazier was a drummer at the time. And I know, and also Jimmy Paxson. Jimmy plays with Stevie Nicks. He's been with her for 10, 15 years or something. I was actually with him when he got the gig on the phone.
Really?
Jimmy Paxson's a great drummer.
Man. Well, did I ever tell you my Russ Kunkel story? I was doing a gig and there was this guy it was at the hotel lobby of the Fairmont in San Jose. And there was a guy sitting next to me. Like I could almost reach over and touch him, sitting there watching me play. And we were taking a break and he goes, "Hey, sit down, sit down. I want to ask you about your drums. Those are the Yamaha blah, 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 blah. And those cymbals are blah, blah." And he starts telling me all this technical information. And I'm starting to think, okay, this guy's kind of a chump, right? In my head.
No.
In my head, I'm going, oh, okay, this guy's just, he's just blowing smoke because he's trying to, and I go, I don't really know. I just play. I just like how they sound. He goes, "Yeah, my name's Russ." I'm like, "Hey, Russ," and we're sitting and talking for a few minutes, and we're going on, talking about drums, and then he goes, "All right, well, hey, been nice talking to you. I see Stevie's walking in right now, so I got to go." And I looked over, and it was Stevie Nicks, and all of a sudden it hit me.
You felt
that's Russ Kunkel. Oh, it just, I just.
You're still trying to get over that.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I still am, man. I to this day, I just what a heel I felt like, man.
Oh, that
Yeah.
hurt.
Did you ever have anything like that happen to you on any gigs? I wouldn't imagine that you would.
Man, yes, but I'm so scared of that happening that I'm very aware of it. I have a phobia about, something like that happening to me, and I'm sure
Uh-huh.
it has. But one of my bands plays a lot of Hollywood parties, and you never know who's going to be there. So I'm like kind of in the habit of treating everybody like that they're very famous, and I don't want to take any chances.
Yeah,
But it's
and
fun to run into people.
right, and at a lot of those parties too, you can't you have to sign a lot of
Yeah.
you know
Oh yeah.
in-
Got waivers. Yeah. They just,
waivers so you won't say or you can't say you were there or what the party was and you can't say who you've seen,
and
all
you
that
can't
sort of thing.
post anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
that's the thing. I've been
Yeah.
they take your phone sometimes at those.
Really? They just like say, "Hey, sorry, you can't have your phone."
Yeah. But some of those are, God, my best situations. I played one where Ed Sheeran got up and jammed with us for an hour.
Are you kidding?
Uh,
What was that like?
that was an incredible wedding. It was actually Scooter Braun's wedding. So Justin Bieber was there. He got up and played with us, and Ed Sheeran sang the first song, and he just stayed on stage. And
Whoa.
we featured him. He wanted to do a bunch of rap, 90s rap, and classic Motown songs. What a trip!
Yeah, how is he standing next to and playing in the band? What's that
Uh,
like?
it's just a sweetheart and incredible musician. Just very giving and very, very, very complimentary of me. And yeah, it was a rare pleasure.
Wow.
But those,
And and then here's the other question is Justin Bieber. It
mhm.
I've heard so many stories about him. Was he well behaved when he was there?
Well, it was his manager's wedding.
Okay, so he
Well,
was well behaved.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we
So
got to back him up. So I'm jazzed. It was
he,
fun.
he actually he's a pretty good singer.
Oh, he's a great singer.
And he's got great songwriters. Speaking of songwriting, uh, what you've written songs, and you have a band, or you've written songs with the Gurus,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
the Gurus. Oh man, my favorite band. What were
so
you gonna ask?
how have you written other songs that other people play, and or did you do most of your writing with the Gurus, or do you co-write with other people?
Yeah,
What are the
that's what I
songs?
am. I'm a co-writer. I'm horrible at lyrics. I never tried to be a songwriter, but I collaborate with many singers. But that was, yeah, my love project, the Gurus. We have a fantastic album called Ritual Dance. That was the '90s, and I wrote with Mark Lindsay, the man I was telling you about. And we did an album together, and actually I co-produced it with him. Yeah, that's a great album too. And
The,
yeah,
the,
it's just what.
can we find the Gurus on iTunes? Because I looked for the Gurus and I found
Sure.
3 albums on
Uh,
iTunes. Is that you guys?
I don't know if it's I. It's not on Spotify. Yeah, we used to be on CD Baby, which went to
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of platforms, but it's hard to find. Did you want to hear some, or you just want me to show you
No,
how to get?
I was just asking in case somebody wants to check it out.
Oh, I see. You'd have to go probably YouTube it. We've got videos
Mm.
there. Let me look real quick on. We
So
were
I
just yeah. There's a lot of gurus, but we were gurus, not the gurus, not hoodoo gurus. But there are a couple of psychedelic bands called the Gurus. And
okay.
I'm not seeing us. Our one album that came out is Ritual Dance, featuring Yeah, Joy Bonner, as you were saying, on
Yeah.
chief songwriter, and Bob Effort on bass,
Mm-hmm.
Eric Abel on drums, and also let's see, Steve Stevens.
Yeah. He
Buddy,
drummer.
drummer, funky as hell. Anyway, I'm not gonna.
Hey, I'm going to play something and I want to see if you can remember this.
Okay.
Okay, so see if you can remember doing this. Okay, here we go. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Hold on to me as go.
I forgot about that.
And although the way is stringing us along,
I never heard the final mix though.
just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down and all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demon. Anyway, I'll stop. That
That's
was you.
beautiful.
That was you singing.
What?
You sang that first part.
Nah. Really?
Yeah.
God, my memory's bad.
And you played mandolin, and you played banjo, and you played acoustic guitar.
When was this?
Oh my gosh, that was like
That was-
2008.
Was that before Gabe? Was that?
No,
was that-
it was the first one I did with Gabe.
Wow. Yeah, it almost sounds like I can play banjo.
That was
I do the cheating thing. I do the cheating. Tommy Tedesco told us about that years ago. Just tune those suckers like a guitar. Don't tear
you
your
know
hair.
what? I think you even said that you have it tuned like a guitar.
I just do the banjo right hand type stuff.
Yeah, so we did that. It was in North Hollywood. At the time, he had an apartment right behind the Starbucks on Camarillo and Tahunga.
Yeah. Now it's coming back to me.
Right?
That long? Wow. Time flies.
God, what's that, like 12 years? 12, 13 years ago?
Yeah.
What?
That's back in my drinking days, buddy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, wait a minute. Now, that song was a hit. No, maybe it wasn't that long
No, it
ago.
couldn't have been. Because that was.
So that'd be like 2012 or something.
That came out in the early teens. Yeah.
Yeah.
My band started doing it around 2011, 2012.
Yeah, it was like there. Still, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long enough for us to forget it.
I was. Yeah, that banjo picking, that's so fun. Sometimes I'll grab that behind me and entertain my students.
Hey, do you have your mandolin handy?
Yeah, but you don't want to hear me play that sucker.
When are you going to start playing violin?
I did in college, but
Really?
I sucked.
Oh, no.
I was just thinking the whole time, how I don't have the time to even sound in tune. I wanted to get to guitar, but I did enjoy playing saxophone. I had to play all the instruments of the orchestra almost for a while. Oboe, that was a nightmare. Flute, I liked flute.
So you can play all those instruments?
Well, I can figure it out and get a sound out of them.
Yeah.
Oboe, not so much. You got to double reed instruments or.
Oboe's one of the hardest, I think, because of the reed.
Yeah, the double reed. Yeah. They make them themselves too, and I was terrible at making them. Yeah, the oboe tunes the orchestra.
Well, really?
Mm-hmm. It's the true A. Matter of fact, our buddy Joe Walsh, I was just listening to him on YouTube the other night, talking to a music college in his drawing way.
He's
He
pretty
brought that up too.
Hey, so when you did that interview with him, was that the first time you've met him? And have you been friends since?
No.
Oh.
I don't even think I've seen him since, maybe from a distance, but it was quite a day. St. Patrick's Day, 1992.
Wow. And he was still drinking then.
That was the party day. Yeah, it's well known. He got sober about what, 94, right before the Eagles.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows what he was doing, but he's still very, you'd swear to God that he was drinking anyway. It's just his personality. But
he's a funny guy.
What an entertaining night. And my boss, the owner of the company, was scared because he was thinking, oh no, it's not being serious. And I said, listen, Joe's audience want this. They wanted to be wacky and out there and making fun of me and all that stuff. Trust me, they're going to love this video. And sure enough, it was popular tour bus entertainment for years.
Right. Yeah, he's a crazy guy.
Every word out of his mouth is unique and funny.
What are some of the craziest things that's happened on gigs for you? Do you have like a memorable experience or a crazy experience, or are there too many to pick?
A couple of years ago, I always think about this. I was at another Hollywood party at the beach. One of those parties where Sylvester Stallone is there and John Lennon was going to play. So we were backing up my band, the band I was in, featuring a lot of, Supremes type act,
right,
and floor show type things, dancers, and like halfway into the set, half hour into the gig, the boss said, "Oh, run and get the horn section or something. We need them right now." So I ran up and got them. Came back and immediately accidentally stepped into a 7-foot deep swimming pool.
You fell in the swimming pool?
All the way in.
Oh.
And it was at the beach, and it was 50 degrees.
Was that at the Jonathan Club?
No, it was just on one of those mansions. Or one of the estates by the beach. And I had to play the whole night, sopping wet. I was walking like Squidward in SpongeBob, and my fingers were like this, frozen solid. And probably the worst thing was my hair was nothing like it usually looks. It's usually up.
Yeah, yeah.
And my suit was, my outfit was just drenched, and I made it through 4 hours somehow.
Wow, and it must have been cold though, being on the beach.
It was right on the beach, and there was no wall there or anything. It was a tent. And it was like, say, 50 degrees.
Oh.
Wet.
Oh.
It took every ounce of my professionalism to not say, I'm going home.
That's a true professional when you can stand there and do that.
Yeah, I just thought about Judy Garland.
Oh.
Her making it through her gigs.
Right.
And then the other one was jamming with Steven Spielberg in his living room back in, when was this? About the time of Schindler's List. I was playing acoustic guitar with a klezmer band and, Jewish folk songs for his mother's birthday. It was Steven Spielberg and his wife. And he comes up to the band leader and says, "You mind if I sit in on clarinet?" And of course, what are you going to say? No, Steven, it's your party. No. You can't. No. So he goes and gets his clarinet and played with us for a half hour.
Well, how was he? Was he good?
Yeah. Songs in the 90s.
He was okay?
We did a lot of yeah. But just, it was surreal.
So, this is the thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you for a second, but this is the thing that I think is really cool about living in Los Angeles is to be able to have those kinds of experiences.
I know, it's exciting. I still feel like Kermit the Frog every playing day of my life.
Yeah. Do you still get starstruck even when you see those people and just?
Oh, I'm a fan. My main hobby that's not music is IMDb. Just watching old movies and series and looking up actors' histories. And when I meet them, it's pretty damned exciting, or just see them.
I'm a total fan too. We both live in Burbank,
Uh-huh.
and the first thing I wanted to do was see Bob Hope's house.
Uh-huh.
And I still, when I drive by that place, every time I drive by it, I'm going, damn, that's Bob Hope's
I know.
house.
I used to always, whenever my mother came into town or an aunt or somebody, I'd always drive by Bob Hope's house. Oh, he's your neighbor.
You know, uh, Somebody called me one time and said, I was given your number. Can you come
Oh,
over?
man.
Am I frozen? Are you? No, I think we're still good. Are you? Can you hear me?
Popping up. Oops, seems like your stream. I don't know. I'm hardwired into the internet, so it
Me too.
should be
But
okay.
that doesn't, yeah, I should be okay too. But, uh, well, I got called to go visit this lady called me and said, hey, I got your number. Can you come and fix my stereo? And I said, okay. And she gave me her address. And I said, wait a minute. Isn't that the house that Frank Sinatra owned? And she goes, oh yeah, and Bobby Darin too. Yeah, that's the house. She goes, when you come over and fix my stereo, I'll show you Bobby Darin's piano. And so I still get geeked out and I'm such a fan that I wouldn't. It's just I just don't know what to say sometimes to some of those folks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I do. I get tongue tied. I
Yeah,
really don't know what to say. I just kind of treat them like a normal person. Most of
yeah.
them seem to be, I mean, normal person, like just friend.
Are you one of those guys that doesn't want to do the selfies like everybody does? You just want to just be able to talk to
Oh,
them,
no, I don't do that. No, I mean, number one, the gigs I play, we're not allowed to do that, or else
right?
I won't get those gigs anymore.
Right.
And yeah, I just kind of, I'm shy that way. Just, I'm a country boy at heart, raised on a farm, and you just don't do that stuff. It's kind of rude.
Right. And
Uh,
the farm you grew up on is in the Bay Area.
yeah, East Bay. And went to
Ple-
church with Garibaldi,
You went to church with Garibaldi?
Pleasanton. What was that? St. Augustine's.
Really?
Yeah, I'm East Bay guy.
So, do you know him? Are you decent friends or?
No, no, it's just one of the families in Pleasanton at the time. I didn't
Wow.
I didn't know that until I didn't remember it till after Tower got really big.
Mm.
But yeah, Bay Area was great growing up there, and I lived in San Francisco in the '80s, and all the bands up there, watching the bands make it from kind
Yeah.
of playing the clubs and making it. I guess it was probably the same down here. I'm just
Yeah.
not from here.
And you moved to LA in the late 80s.
Yeah, to go to school at where I teach in
And
1988.
and and you went to school there and then started teaching in like 92, you said, right? 91?
89.
89. God, jeez, I'm sorry. I've already forgotten the first of the show.
The Joe Walsh video was 92. That's what you're thinking.
That's right. So you basically went to school there for a year and just started teaching because you're like, okay, look, you guys, I know more than you. Just let me teach.
No,
Get out of the way.
no, but between you and me, well, everybody knows it. I went to that school wanting to be a teacher.
Really?
It was a dream. I didn't think it'd be possible, but I just worked my ass off and got to know all this. Teacher played with everybody and was fearless for a year, and it paid off. I won the Student
Nice.
of the Year award and started subbing right away, and
Oh man.
it's been it's still fantastic part of my life.
Well, Tom, I got to say, I really, I'm honored that you did this with me and that I've been able to know you and have you as a friend. And you have always been there whenever I've needed. And I remember one time when my youngest was in Girl Scouts,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, hey, they want me to be kind of like a dad's day at Girl Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, and I called you up,
Yeah.
and you came over with you played your guitar, played some electronic drums, and we played for the Girl Scouts.
Uh-huh.
And all I did was buy you some Portos.
I love Portos.
I know, but the fact is living so close and the way we've been, it has just been really nice to have you as a friend, and the icing on the cake is you're such an amazing musician that I can use you to do all of these things, and you have always come through with the best guitar playing stuff that I've ever needed, whatever style, whatever I need, and you just play it and you go, yeah, there you go. Here, you want me to do it again? No, that was fine.
You are a true gentleman. Yeah, right back at you, my brother. It's fantastic knowing you. And yeah, it was. I remember that day, and I just feel like any way to pay it forward, you know. And I want to inspire everybody to you know, just the love of music, passion, and the entertainment value and the learning value of music.
Well, you
Joy
know,
of music.
if there's ever a time that we can get to, and I can take my cajon, I would come out of retirement because I haven't touched my sticks in a couple of years. I would come out of retirement to get my cajon and sit next to you and Mike and Bob, and maybe we can get a pizza gig again.
Oh man, that was actually so much fun. And looking back there, and we backed up a lot of people who would come in,
Yeah,
great musicians that we knew, and some that we didn't. And
it was,
that's a fun gig. It's too bad it didn't last.
yeah,
It did.
yeah, it was really fun, and it would be nice to do something like that again. You know, who knows? Since there's no really big gigs happening, you know, maybe the little ones will come back and we can go do
Yeah.
some stuff.
Well, that's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, once things start opening up.
The little gigs will come first.
Yeah, and plus people will want to see live music again,
Yeah.
way more than they. You know, it's kind of taken for granted for years.
So,
Live bands.
hey, it's 9:05. We've been at it for an hour. Is there a song you can play to take us out?
Yeah.
So,
Sheesh.
so I mean, but play something good, would you?
Yeah. I like jamming on blues.
So what guitar are you playing there? Is that a Gibson SG?
Yeah, I wear it because I can play it. I wear it nice and high so my students can see my fingers. 'Cause usually I wear it Pete Townsend level when I play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's very light. You know, it's one of my lightest guitars.
Okay.
My first good guitar was an SG, and this is a reissue.
Okay.
Still there?
Yes. All right. And that's the end of the show. Thank you. Good night.
Hey, people are strange. Where did that come from?